Well, millions of Americans remain on unemployment and the economic recovery has turned sluggish. And a new bipartisan stimulus plan totaling $908 billion has been shot down by Senator Mitch McConnell. So let's talk this more now with Vice President of the Aspen Institute, Ida Rademacher. Ida, I want to get your thoughts first on that stimulus and the prospect that it's essentially now slipping away. I know that the Aspen Institute has been doing a lot of research on financial security of Americans over the last couple of years. So what are you seeing in terms of how badly Americans really do still need this economic aid?
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be here, Kristin. And it's disappointing that we're starting the conversation with another failed attempt at stimulus right now. Families can't wait. It was interesting. Just 2 segments ago, you were talking about how 2/3 of the economy is consumer spending. And we've got 2 different recoveries happening. Those who are actually benefiting from that stock market growth, from the monetary stimulus and the monetary policy. But then for millions and millions of families, unemployment is ending for those who have lost their jobs. Evictions, we're estimating 30 to 40 million evictions by the end of the year. If that moratorium doesn't end, even student loan debt, delay of repayments, all of these things combined mean that families need the stimulus. Families need a fiscal response to go hand in glove with the monetary policies we've had there. And in the darkest times of the pandemic, we're going to be facing the darkest times for a lot of households as well.
Now, your institute published a report on the state of financial security, and in it, the report says, quote, that you would have expected to see significant improvement in people's financial well-being leading into 2020, but we didn't. What does this mean then for folks now in 2020 and for their prospects in 2021 and beyond, especially given, what a rough year it's been?
Yeah, I think, some of the highlights of the newly announced economic team for the next administration already, I think, tell that there's going to be some prioritizing of worker financial security, understanding that it's going to be a key ingredient for a really robust recovery. You're just not going to be able to have the level of consumer spending, the level of long-term planning at the household level, unless you lean into that. Look, the stock market is not the only measure we should be looking at in terms of how is the economy doing, because we know that it's only telling the story for a portion of American households in terms of that lived experience. So we look at 3 dimensions at a household level. We look at, just like small businesses, households need consistent positive cash flow. That's either going to come from your being able to plan on your wages, or it's going to come from your non-wage income, from those personal resources and the public and private benefits you can access. And as we just talked about with what's going on with housing, with what's going on with unemployment insurance, 5 million people losing their health care if it was employer provided and they lost their jobs. There's just going to need to be a really double down focus on those drivers of household financial security as part of the recovery process.
Now, we do have a new administration coming in, given where you saw folks' financial security in a year of economic prosperity, being 2019, and the hits that then people took in 2020. What are the economic priorities as you see it going forward for this new administration?
I mean, I think that they're going to be the ones that you're hearing them say for themselves right now. It's clearly getting a handle on the pandemic itself, on COVID, and with the vaccines coming, that's going to be an important piece. But then attending to basics, looking at if stimulus doesn't happen here in the next month before the end of the year, it's got to be first priority in the next Congress with the new administration as well. And I think that's already being teed up to be the case. So I feel confident about that. But as we see, even with the different plans that are coming out today that people are learning about, Some people are prioritizing focus on businesses, but we've really got to focus on what are the supports for households. What's the support for some of the local and state governments that are also being racked with problems of their ability to be responsive to the households and the financial precarity in their own communities. So all of those things are being teed up. The response from Treasury, to be able to look at this in a bipartisan way, these are all going to be critical to the solution.
Is there a concern, Ida, in how limited the president might be in making steps to address financial insecurity, given the unwillingness of some in Congress? I'm thinking, of course, of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, to really address that with economic aid?
So I think that we'll have to wait and see what McConnell does with a totally different dynamic surrounding the process. It's clear that both the new Council of Economic Advisors with Cecilia Rouse, with Janet Yellen at Treasury, these are all labor economists. They understand that what's been happening is that even though the economy's been growing, household income has become a smaller and smaller share of that. And there are policy choices that are going to make a difference in terms of that. And I think that you're going to see a response, so far we haven't seen anything this time around that really has re-upped the direct cash payments to households outside of unemployment insurance. I think that will be back on the table. I think that the other part of what's happening for a lot of families is that all of these public benefits they have been getting this year are taxable. And we've got, coming into next year, we've got a lot of people that are going to be surprised if they usually got an earned income tax credit, that they're going to have new tax liabilities as well. So Congress and the administration, I think, they understand these issues. I think that there's going to be my hope is that there's going to be a real desire to help both for the businesses and for households. I think that it's becoming clear to all that we can't have a lopsided strategy when it comes to who you're going to help to recover if we want to have an inclusive and a robust economy going forward once we have a vaccine.
All right, Ida Rademacher from the Aspen Institute. Thank you so much for joining us for our Funding Our Future segment.
Thanks, Kristin. My pleasure.
Funding Our Future is an alliance of organizations dedicated to making a secure retirement possible for all Americans.